Less than 60 minutes and 22 people were left dead. Most of them suffocated, many among them children. So what really happened in Mumbai? Take a look. These are the remains of the day. The remnants of people who left this morning for the Elphinstone railway station. 10:25 a.m. It was like any other day, when suddenly it started to rain. People rushed to take cover from the deluge, all crowding onto this narrow foot-over bridge. The result? A sudden crush of human beings. Some clambered over the side of the bridge to escape the rush. Some fell off in the attempt. No one was in control. Some did try to control the panic, but to no avail. The most morbid dance of death took place on the bridge itself, where several suffocated, their loved ones knelt by their side, helpless. By 11 a.m., the bodies had started piling up. Desperate, frantic, frenzied people clambering over each other, crawling, stepping over bodies in a mad dash to safety, to life. By 11:30, Mumbai, bleeding, broken, was left counting its dead and asking, as always, is this what we deserve? All right, joining me now is my colleague Kamlesh Sutar and Vidya. My colleagues, Kamlesh is at KEM Hospital where a large number of the injured have now been taken, and Vidya is still at Elphinstone where the stampede took place. Vidya, first I want to ask you, because you were one of the first few reporters on the spot. Now, the statement from the railway says the rains were unprecedented and people were caught unawares. As people were not prepared for rains, the sudden rain made people from the approach road to take shelter at the foot-over bridge and at staircase. So is the rain and the people responsible for what happened today? People killed 22 people, it seems.
If you look at this entire incident and if you consider what the railways are saying, well, it certainly was a trigger. But had there been many more foot-over bridges for people to cross over, remember from between Elphinstone railway station and Parel railway station, there is only one foot-over bridge which comes all the way to the western side. So people who have to work on the western side of this entire railway station, which is around Lower Parel and Elphinstone, they only have one option, that is to cross that bridge. And within seconds, you have to consider the fact that every few minutes there is a train in Mumbai. And even if one, single people coming out from one train stop over for a while, then the train, platforms, the foot-over bridges get overcrowded. There should have been authorities to actually let the flow go ahead, asking people to go ahead, but none of them were there. They were probably, seeking help from rain themselves, which is probably one of the reasons why people in Mumbai are really so upset about the fact that they had been putting up this entire issue of the foot-over bridge not meeting the entire, the growth of population that has recently been seen in this particular part of Mumbai. And certainly that's one of the reasons why they feel that let down by the railways. Had this entire, the proposition that they had been putting up that there is a need for a new foot-over bridge, had that been met, probably this incident would not have happened, and probably that trigger of rains also would not have been a good excuse for them.
And Kamlesh, I want to ask you, because you've spoken to plenty of survivors, I am made to believe that on most occasions there is a guard or a policeman who regulates the traffic, of which there is a huge volume that comes, especially during peak hours in the morning and in the evening. What are the survivors telling you? Why didn't that happen today? Why this sudden crush of people?
It's not a sudden rush of people, Padmaja. If you look at the lower Parel and Elphinstone, the Parel station and Elphinstone station, where the bridge joins these two stations, one from the central line and one on the western line, it's crowded usually in particular, and the crowd has increased only in last few years. Several business offices, several corporate offices have shifted their base from South Mumbai to Lower Parel area. Several of these offices, several corporate buildings, tall skyscrapers have come down in this area. So every building, if you say, approximately houses some 100 to 150 offices. Imagine the number of people that have to report to their offices during morning peak hours. So the rush is there usually every morning. This issue was also raised by some people in last few days, and particularly just 2 days before, a journalist from Mumbai had also clicked a picture of the kind of crowd that is present on this bridge every day, and he had also appealed the railways to look into it. Whether the authorities are waiting for this. See, Padmaja, if you look at Mumbai, it took 126.11 for the Mumbai police to purchase bulletproof jackets. So whether it will take another episode like today for the railways to take cognizance of such bridges. What Santosh Andale told me in the afternoon was that there are 12 other similar bridges that exist in Mumbai. These are death traps. Are we waiting for more such incidents to happen? So we'll have the railways will seriously have to look into it and have to prioritize what they need to do first in Mumbai. They have to look into the security of the passengers, not inside the train, but even outside the stations where commuters not only travel, but they also walk outside the stations.
No, Kamlesh, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but this has to be said. Not a tragedy, not warnings, nothing alerts the authorities, the government, the people who are supposed to make sure that these episodes don't take place. Nothing will alert them, because it's not as if they did not know what was happening. Kamlesh and Vidya, thanks very much for joining us, because it's not just journalists, it's not just news channels, but it was also citizens. People like you and I, people who travel every single day on the Mumbai local, who time and again warned the railways what was going on. Incidentally, Elphinstone is just one where a tragedy took place. There are so many tragedies that are waiting to happen. From several years ago, there were people from Mumbai who tweeted, spoke about how, in fact, just in February this year, Manjul, who goes by the handle of Manjul Toons, he's a famous cartoonist, he had tweeted pre-rush hour Parel station. Look at this picture. He had tweeted a picture saying that pre-rush hour Parel station, the only staircase which people use to exit and enter the station, a major accident is waiting to happen, he said. Then before that, in 2014 as well, there were several tweets which were sent out. 2016, Chandan, a man, wrote to Suresh Prabhu and to the Prime Minister, Central Mumbai station Parel awaiting a stampede. Unfortunately, these words almost seem prescient now. Again, there was another Mumbaiker who tweeted a picture to the railway minister and to Suresh Prabhu's personal handle, where he said the Mumbai Parel bridge is going to fall down or there will be a stampede. Many have told this, but there hasn't been any action. Incidentally, some of these people who were writing online were even replied to by the railway ministry, where they said your complaint has been taken note of and we are doing what it takes. Finally, let me tell you about a tweet that went out as far back as 2014. Divakar Pingle actually wrote a large-scale stampede is waiting to happen at the Parel station unless the stairs to the Elphinstone side is widened. Hashtag Mumbai Local. They wrote to the Railways Ministry 2014, where this first warning was sounded, and we're in 2017 and still passing the buck about who is to blame. Suresh Prabhu was alerted in 2014 also by Prashant Thakur, another person from Mumbai, where he said, tweet number 3 on this topic, Parel Station South End Bridge is a stampede waiting to happen in rush hours. Please intervene. So since then, what we do know is that allocation of funds was done, but tendering did not happen. Who is responsible for this? You just moved a file and then sat on it. 22 people died as a result. Over 30 people are injured even as we speak, all because some Babu decided to sit on a file. The Railway Ministry, it is quite clear now, completely ignored. Not one, not two, multiple warnings, not just given by people on Twitter or on Facebook, but even by members of Parliament. This is not negligence, this is murder. The stampede at Elphinstone station, a man-made tragedy, one that was waiting to happen. The signs were always there. The daily rush and the overcrowding of the footbridge. Warnings were made but were ignored. Not once, not twice. Here's the proof. 2 days ago, Santosh Andhale, a Mumbai journalist, had tweeted a picture of the Elphinstone overbridge, urging the Central Railways to fix the mess.
First time in my life I was scared 3 days ago when I stuck in that chaos. So that time I put in a picture on Twitter and FB and urged to the ministry, please do something. And across the section of the media and all office goers knows the situation.
And a year ago, a concerned Mumbaikar posted a similar picture to show the pathetic state of the overbridge, even warning of a possible stampede. In 2015, Shiv Sena MP Rahul Shivale wrote a letter to then Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu requesting him to widen the bridge. Not just Shivale, another Shiv Sena MP Arvind Sawant made the same request.
Railways administration at the local level is ignorant, deliberately neglects the issues of the Mumbai people.
The citizens' concerns were never addressed, but the MP's letter got a reply. Suresh Prabhu chose to ignore it, saying railways didn't have enough funds for the project and blamed global slowdown. The Elphinstone tragedy has now become a blame game. Minister of State for Railways says there was nothing wrong with the bridge.
अगर फुट ओवर ब्रिज टूटा होता तो बात समझ में आती। फुट ओवर ब्रिज भारी भीड़ के बावजूद भी फुट ओवर ब्रिज नहीं टूटा है। जो कुछ हादसा हुआ है वो भगदड़ के कारण हुआ है।
A few others held the state government responsible for maintaining the bridge. That's not all. Even as the rescue work was yet to finish, the Railway Police and the Mumbai Police fought over who should file the case. Finally, the issue was settled and Mumbai Police took charge. So who will take responsibility for this man-made tragedy? Nobody. It's been the same always. Mumbai has learned to live with it, it seems. Bureau Report, India Today. No, but there is someone who will at the end of the day be blamed for the tragedy. Unexpected, unprecedented rains. The unprecedented rains that result in flooding of streets, unprecedented rains that result in potholes, and unprecedented rains that kill people on railway over bridges. And it's not just warnings, it's not just letters. A full-fledged campaign was carried out for the broadening, for the renovation of this foot overbridge. Sahil Joshi, in fact, spoke to those people again about how they had raised their voice, a voice that fell on deaf ears.
There is a lot of anger among people because it's not for the first time, that it's not something that the Railway Ministry did not know about. It's not only Shiv Sena MPs who had written letters in the past, but it's also the people from the ground who had run social media campaigns. And I have with me a group of young, educated people who had run this particular campaign to bring attention of the Railway Ministry to this particular bridge. Now this something is what I'm talking. See what has written. Hey Prabhu, kabhi Parel bhi ana. So they were asking Mr. Suresh Prabhu to come to Parel and see what is happening on this particular bridge. Okay. Now there is a social media tweet I'm showing. This particular tweet was sent by this gentleman who was trying to tell them that this bridge can succumb to such kind of incidents and accident at any point of time. Now let's talk to them and try to understand what response they got. क्या आपको कोई response मिल पाया जिस तरीके का ये 1 साल पहले का कैंपेन है?
1 साल पहले का कैंपेन है। हम लोग ने जब हम लोग यहाँ से ही बड़े हो गए, हम लोग यहाँ पे देखते इंडिया बुल्स के वजह से यहाँ पे रश इतना बढ़ गया कि हम लोग लेटर देके भी ये कोई सुनते नहीं, इसलिए हम लोग ने सोशल कैंपेनिंग चालू किया। ये मेरा एक पोस्ट है 1 साल पहले का बट कोई एक्शन लेता है नहीं, ये तो हम क्या करें, अभी हेल्पलेस है हम लोग भी अभी इसके लिए।
इसके बारे में हायर अथॉरिटीज से आपने बात करने की?
नहीं, ये ब्रिज के बारे में हमने वारंवार कंप्लेंट, क्योंकि ब्रिज ऐसा है कि बहुत लोड लेता है। एक तो इंडिया बुल्स कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर बहुत हो गया, इंडिया बुल्स ही नहीं, लोअर परेल के भी जितने हैं वो भी सब यहाँ से टैक्सी से आते हैं। यहाँ पे आने के बाद में फिर यहाँ फुल मार्केट है, मच्छी।
क्या ये कैंपेन का कोई रिस्पांस आपको मिला?
नहीं, रिस्पांस मिलता तो ये होता। कोई रिस्पांस नहीं मिला है। ट्विटर पे ट्वीट भी किया गया था मंत्री रेल प्रभु जी को भी, लेकिन कोई रिस्पांस नहीं मिला। उन्होंने बोल दिया DRM में जो है उन्होंने ट्रांसफर कर दिया मैटर, उसके बाद से कोई इस पे ध्यान नहीं दिया गया है।
So that's a regular tweet response which normally you get, and that is what has been responded to these people, that their complaint has been forwarded to the DRM, that is the district railway officer here in Mumbai at Bombay Central, and after that there was no response to these people, because if there would have been a response, such kind of tragedy would have been averted, and that's what was the cry the whole day today, because we were standing on this bridge, people were literally telling us, don't stand here, we know that you are doing some important job, but despite that they were telling us not to stand here, because for them this particular bridge is very important. Every minute here is important in Mumbai. No one wants to spend time, and that's what for them we were standing there as someone who were obstructing their movement here on the bridge, and that is the reason why this particular incident happened. It was not a rainy day. Normally this particular area is filled with water whenever there is a downpour, heavy downpour in Mumbai, but today it was not a heavy rain. It just that a shower of rain came. People thought that it's going to be a downpour. People stopped there, and then suddenly this pushing happened and stampede happened. This could have been averted if the basic infrastructure should have been given importance and priority in Mumbai, rather than talking about some future plans, grand plans for the country.
So here's some interesting trivia. When the local area MP who belongs to the Shiv Sena, he wrote to the railway minister asking for funds for this foot overbridge, he was told, we don't have the money right now, the funds are not available. That was what he was initially told. Now let's just take a look at the kind of money that has been spent, has been made available, not to the Elphinstone bridge on time, but it was allotted to the Shivaji statue in the sea. It was also allotted for Bal Thakre's memorial at Shivaji Park. There was plenty of money allotted to connect Mumbai to Ahmedabad by bullet train as well. So yes, all of these works are also needed. But what is your priority? To save lives or to erect these memorials? That's something that we leave to our government. And we also request our government to not keep hiding its failures behind the spirit of Mumbai. Yes, Mumbai is resilient, it bounces back, but that doesn't mean that it should time and again be treated like dirt.
It was supposed to be yet another day when nearly 8 million commuters would somehow brave it out on these trains, also called the lifeline of the city, and return to their homes. Most did, except the 22 who are no longer amidst us, thanks to the tragedy which unfolded at the Elphinstone station. While the current tragedy stands out, the fact is thousands of lives are snuffed out primarily due to overcrowding inside trains and passengers being run over while crossing the tracks. The city's governance, hardly rising to the occasion, in fact has shown consistency only in failing the citizens. These numbers and data only reaffirming the scent of death along the tracks. Yet it isn't about today's tragedy alone. Man-made and perhaps entirely avoidable tragedies flowing from lack of governance play out in a seemingly unending streak for a city which was, ridiculous as it may seem today, once compared with the Chinese economic powerhouse of Shanghai. Whether it was the doctor who vanished into a manhole only to be found dead in a drain later, or the former television presenter who was killed when an untrimmed branch fell on her, citizens for no fault of theirs have had to pay with their lives. Another area where the authorities have failed has been in checking buildings built illegally or those which have turned dilapidated and thus dangerous. The list unfortunately is only growing. Accountability missing from all corners, tragedies have only repeated, prodding the same set of assurances from the authorities. Meanwhile, these words, written long ago to describe the city and its spirit, continue to ring true even today as tragedy finds newer ways of presenting itself. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the next time some Neta in Mumbai feeds you platitudes about turning Mumbai into Shanghai, tell them to first turn it into a livable city. Thanks very much for joining us.